Let me introduce you to a woman named Deepika. Deepika's family is plagued by poor health. Last year, her son died at 2 years of age because of fecal contamination. Every morning, Deepika wakes up before dawn and walks to the river to relieve herself. With every step she takes, she is filled with gripped fear as she remembers the time she was raped while openly defecating. But she has no other choice. There aren't any working toilets nearby. Deepika is one of India's 638 million people who do not have access to an adequate toilet. India is experiencing a crisis, and Bright Sanitation has the solution. We provide safe, clean toilet facilities to India's underserved slum residents while effectively treating waste through use of our innovative technology. We are seeking an investment of $100,000 in exchange for 29% equity and an expected 15x return on your investment. Join Bright Sanitation in empowering cities and restoring dignity. India is experiencing a widespread crisis. Toilets are dilapidated and unsafe. They're overflowing and filling the streets with sewage. We see that women are commonly raped while using public toilet facilities. However, there is still a desperate demand for sanitation, and we see that Indian residents are willing to wait long hours and walk far distances just so they have a place to defecate in private. But there is a sheer shortage of toilets, and as a result, 638 million people openly defecate in India. And this has caused 80% of India's disease. Bright Sanitation has an empowering solution. We provide safe, clean toilet facilities to India's underserved slum residents while effectively treating waste through use of our innovative technology. We effectively remove pathogens that cause disease. We do this through our technology. You see here a picture of our toilet facilities and underneath an anaerobic digester that treats the waste. Solids are treated in our anaerobic digester beneath the facility, and liquids are treated in our bacterial filter and further treated through solar disinfection. A breakdown of how all this works: solids are treated in our anaerobic digester. Solids remain in the digester as anaerobic bacteria break down the complex organic matter into simpler substances. Water continuously flows through this digester to be treated in our bacterial filter. As it goes up through this filter, cultivated ecosystems of bacteria target all remaining organic material and pathogens. We achieve a 40% greater efficiency through use of this filter. Water then flows to the roof for solar disinfection, and within a span of 5 hours, all remaining viruses, disease-causing pathogens, and harmful bacteria are completely neutralized and removed from this water. We have a cyclical system where water is recycled and reused in our facility while waste is effectively treated and the main cause of India's disease is completely neutralized. We provide our customers with life-changing value. Our customers save time as they no longer have to walk far distances and wait in long lines in order to find a place to relieve themselves. The health of our customers increases as they no longer have to hold their waste for unhealthy amounts of time, and the incidence of disease in the areas we serve is reduced as the main cause, fecal contamination, is treated. Also, overall, our customers gain a greater sense of dignity. Women like Deepika are no longer at risk while using the restroom. As you've seen, we have a bright solution for India's sanitation crisis. We have an innovative solution where we effectively treat waste through use of our anaerobic digestion technology, and the incidence of disease is reduced. We provide life-changing value to our customers. Now I'm going to hand it off to Steve to talk about our market.
Thank you, Megan. So we have an extremely large market potential. And as you can see in gray, the open defecation segment makes up 17% of the world sanitation market. If we further divide this segment by country, we see that of the 1.2 billion that practice open defecation, 54% reside in India. That's over 630 million people that practice open defecation in India alone. Taking these factors into account, we found the perfect place to start, and for us that's India. As you recall, over 630 million practice open defecation in India, and we'll enter this market through Mumbai, India. Mumbai has a population of over 10 million that practice open defecation, and we'll place our first facilities in the slum of Dharavi. Dharavi is located in Mumbai. It's the largest slum in Asia with over 600,000 people. In addition, we've seen that Dharavi has a very inviting culture that will embrace our concept. Now, I've personally been to Dharavi, I've done a cultural study in Mumbai, and I've seen what most outsiders don't know about a slum. That is, they're a very vibrant community. In slums, families are close-knit, people know each other, and they're constantly bustling with activity. And so many people are moving to Dharavi because they're trying to improve their quality of living. Just like you and I would like to improve the quality of living for our families, so would these people. And as they do this, we see that they're starting to emulate the higher castes. We can see this in the way they're dressing, the way they're improving their dwellings, and the way they're demanding sanitation. Even though the toilets are very limited in Dharavi, we've seen that people walk long distances, wait in long lines, and pay money to use facilities that are unsanitary and quite possibly not even working. So we won't be the first to install a toilet company in the slums of India, but we've seen that the majority of our competition in the past have failed, and they failed for two main reasons. The first of which being that they're government funded, where they put the money in, they build a facility and leave it to sit. This provides no maintenance and no accountability. Without accountability, managers are stealing money and customers aren't paying. And without maintenance, facilities are breaking down, digesters are malfunctioning, and it soon becomes more sanitary to go to the bathroom outside than to use a public facility. We've seen this example in the Bangalore Agenda Task Force. They installed thousands of toilets in South India to find that months later, the majority of those were broken down with no plan for maintenance. The second reason we've seen that most companies fail is that they fail to respect cultural barriers. Now, India is very different from the United States, and we realize this, but many companies either don't realize this or they don't want to take the time to learn. So we've seen an example in Andhra Pradesh where they installed thousands of toilets, but they put those in rural areas. And in rural areas, the need isn't as apparent, and the people don't have the education to know that they do need toilets. They also failed to respect major Hindu values. One such value of many Hindus is that they don't want a toilet facility inside of their home because they see that as unclean and disrespectful. But they do desire a toilet on the outside of their home. In Andhra Pradesh, they installed these toilets inside of the homes to find that months later, the majority of them weren't being used as toilets at all, but for other purposes such as storage. We have, however, seen some success in the industry. Right now, the main player in the field is Sulabh International, and Sulabh operates in 1,000 towns and serves 10 million a day. Sulabh's target customer is low-caste, non-slum residents. So we've seen that Sulabh has succeeded for three reasons. The first of which being that Sulabh operates in urban areas where the need is most apparent. Second, Sulabh has a plan for maintenance so that his toilets can be relied upon to be sanitary and working. And third, Sulabh is well organized to provide accountability for managers and to keep the community involved. And these are three traits that we plan to adopt into our system. So we have a plan for success to reach our large target market, and we'll enter that market through Mumbai, India. We plan to avoid the failures that we've learned from our competition in the past and to embrace the culture that will lead to our success. Now Garrett will tell you more about the operations.
Thanks, Steve. So we've seen the technology and we've seen the market, but what will this look like in our daily operations? Here at Bright Sanitation, we feel we've come up with a plan to bring dignity and affordability to the people of India. Very sensitive. Our facilities will be 12 restrooms, 6 on each side, both the male and female side, to ensure that we are culturally sensitive to the people of India, also bring another level of dignity and privacy while using the restroom. These facilities will be able to serve approximately 3,240 individuals on a daily basis and are based on a 2 rupee payment system. We've installed a ticker system to promote accountability in our facilities. The way this ticker system works is someone will walk up to the turnstile, drop a coin in, and proceed to use the restroom. So at the end of the day, we have a ticker number and a lockbox full of money, and these two values should match to ensure that the money isn't disappearing into pockets or other individuals around the community. We also will empower the people of India by hiring local people to work in and around our facilities. The first of these is our station attendees. They will be the people that are working at the facility a majority of the day and ensuring that people are walking through the turnstile and actually paying. We've scheduled them in a 30-minute overlapping window, so while one person is watching the turnstile, another person is going from stall to stall, cleaning and sanitizing them for the next shift. Next is our general managers. They're in charge of 5 to 10 facilities, depending on what year and how many have been built. They're in charge of the actual financial accounting, ensuring that our ticker counts are matching our value in the drop box. They're also in charge of our educational outreach, teaching people how to take sanitation with them back to their homes with simple techniques such as hand washing or food preparation. Lastly is our engineers. They will be in charge of testing the facilities on a daily basis to ensure that our effluent water and byproduct are both pathogen-free and safe for the people and the environment around. We've also paid our employees twice the average wage of anyone in the slums to ensure we are promoting social mobility for them and their families. Last, we have a sustainable expansion plan through our expansion. First is one pilot program, and by the end of year 1, we'll have 10 facilities built. Year 2 and 3, we'll have 20 facilities built each year. Year 4 and 5, we'll have 30 facilities built each year. So at the end of year 5, we'll have a total of 110 facilities built. I'd like to hand it to Tom, and he'll talk more about the financial side.
Thank you, Garrett. Bright Sanitation is going to have a quick return on your investment. Over the first year and a half of operations, we have generated enough profit to cover our equity investment and break even. We're going to do this through the use of our facilities. We expect each facility to generate around $100 a day in profit, and we expect that it will take around 2 months for a facility to get up to this point. If you look at our financial assumptions in the business plan, you'll see how a facility will be able to pay itself off in around 100 days of operations. We have a calculated ROI potential. We use the double year-end valuation method to calculate a pre-money valuation of $360,000 using an ROI of 15x and initial investment of $100,000. We are asking for an initial investment of $100,000 in exchange for 29% equity in the company. We plan to buy out the investor after 5 years of operations. We have the right team to move this venture forward. Steve Brockenbach is our interim CEO and president. He's led our culture study in Mumbai in our target area, and he has seen the sanitation problems firsthand. Our team itself has international experience in over 25 countries, and we have also seen the sanitation problem firsthand. We have the right advisors to ensure our success and to help us along the way. David Johnson is the founder of World Volunteer. World Volunteer is an international organization centralized in Sweden, but it operates in Laos and other third world countries to build schools for underprivileged children. He has shown interest in investing and funding a pilot facility for our venture. Mr. Murugan is an urban development expert in India, and he partners with local NGOs. He has served as a lot of our primary data and primary resources for our information about our venture. He has also shown interest in providing funding for a pilot facility. We also have 2 world-renowned microbiologists from the University of Oklahoma on our team. They've helped us design our digester to be more efficient and to ensure the pathogens are killed and that our water is safe for the people to use it. We plan to hire a CEO, preferably from India, who has international experience with companies and who will be able to foster the growth of our business. We also plan to hire an Indian civil engineer who knows the building codes and regulations of the area and will be able to help us build our facilities so that they are in regulation with the government standards. As you have seen, we have an attractive ROI potential, we have a quick return on your investment, and we have the right team and the advisors to ensure our success. I'll now hand it back to Garrett to summarize why you should invest in our company.
Tom? So as you've seen today, we have innovative technology. We've taken 3 phases, combined them into one to form our own efficient solution. We have a large, nice and sensitive, large untapped market. 638 million people are currently openly defecating in India. We have a scalable solution. We have a plan to go from 1 pilot facility to 110 facilities, all under our operational control. We have a passionate team that's traveled the world and seen the sanitation crisis firsthand. We have a team that's passionate about social ventures and plans to pursue them further. We have an expert team of advisors who has allowed us to chase after our dreams and share their knowledge and wisdom with us along the way. Lastly, we have a high return on investment, not only an economic investment, but a social investment. You'll be investing in the lost and forgotten people of India. We're Bright Sanitation, empowering cities, restoring dignity. We'd like to open the floor to clear up any questions you might have.
Jump in. So 2 rupees. I presume you've seen the musical Urinetown. Where does 2 rupees fit in the people in their life? 2 rupees a lot, a little? Where do they find money? How do they pay for this?
Sure. Well, 2 rupees is about 4 cents to us. It's a little different because we make a different amount of money, but an average person in the slum would pay about 20 rupees for a lunch. So 2 rupees will fit into their income. We think it's a reasonable amount to buy dignity, basically. And we've seen that they are paying 2 rupees to use the toilets right now, and we provide a more clean and safe facility.
Question. Oh,
Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. This new technology that you have, how, you said, I've read it, but how long has that been tested, or do we know that it's going to really work better than the other systems have worked?
All 3 components of our systems have been used in other ways. These are all anaerobic digestion, the anaerobic digester, and we have our bacterial filter. So both of these have been proven in other applications. And solar disinfection has been proved. So all things have been proved, and we have been working with world-renowned microbiologists who have said, this is what you need to effectively remove all of the pathogens from human waste. So we will be testing this even further when we do our pilot facility.
You've talked a lot about the dignity of the customer. In this presentation, you talked also about a competitive edge being maintenance, and that it seems like there's going to be a large employee base to maintain all these facilities. So what have you thought about to maintain the dignity of the employee base beyond just paying them twice the traditional wage?
Well, typically the lower caste is made to clean out these pit latrines. And so typically they'd have a really dirty job where they'd have to go in the pit latrine and use buckets to take out the waste. So they'd be, waist deep or neck deep in fecal matter. And so with our facilities, they'll just be cleaning toilets and they won't have to be inside fecal matter. So it'll be a lot cleaner and it'll be adding a lot more dignity to their jobs. Not only are they getting paid more, it's a cleaner job, it's safer, and we're helping them to move out of the community. So.
You guys referenced that you'd like to find a CEO. Can you talk a little bit about the ideal criteria for that person and the strategy to find him or her?
So India's culture, they're not always accepting of foreign companies. They want to make sure that you are there to help them, which is why we want to partner with a local NGO. The criteria for a CEO is we'd want them to be Indian so that it gives us more validity to our cause, and we'd want one who has experience operating maybe with American business people and operating in India.
And then how would you find that person? What's the strategy to find him or her?
Right, I think as what Tom touched on, I think the primary avenue is through the NGO, who's in country and has those connections, and be able to find someone who has the right ideology and experience to partner with us.
Could you guys take us back to the origin of this concept and kind of the vision? How did this come together?
Well, we all had different visions at first of what we wanted to do. We knew we liked biodigesters, we liked sustainability, and we wanted to help people. I went to India last summer and really just got a vision for the people, how much need there is, how much potential there is, and just meeting the people, seeing how relatable they are. I guess it put a desire in my heart to help them. I was closer to them, So just going through that experience, I brought that back to our group, and as we talked about it, we realized that we could use the concepts we're already learning about, already talking about, to improve the lives of these people over here. And as we researched it, we realized it's really valid, it's profitable, it's going to help people. So we just fell in love with the idea.
Do you have any concerns about how long this is going to be able to serve and the maintenance long term, the lasting ability of the whole system to be there 10 years from now, even if you're not?
Our facility has been constructed, and it's the physical aspect of mostly concrete and other materials that for the doors and other items that are easily replaceable. So we've come up with a maintenance plan to, if something does break or needs maintenance, it'll be easily restored so the upkeep is high. So people will come back, because if it's run down, no one's going to want to use the restroom. So we believe we designed it in such a way to be long-lasting and easily replaceable for items that do wear out.
In addition, I want to add to that, we're building these facilities to be sustainable. We want eventually to pass this on to Indians. We want Indians to be serving Indians. So we don't want Americans to be constantly having to go to India. So our goal is to improve the lives of the Indians, and if that means eventually passing the business along to them through a franchise or however we see that fit at that time. That's our goal.
So 5 years from now, it's successful, it's working, the New York Times hears about it, they send the reporters over, they write a big story. What's that headline say?
Empowering cities and restoring dignity through sanitation.
Through sanitation.
That's good.
So, is it correct that $100,000 actually takes this venture to profitability and there's no additional need for capital?
Yes. The facilities, because they're profitable enough and we're serving such a large amount of people, there's such a large demand for our facilities, they'll be able to generate enough profit to pay for themselves quickly and to help fund the venture. So if the facility can pay for itself in 100 days, we'd be able to use the money from the facility to build another one. So.
Have you been able to determine the profitability of the group that you said is successful, Salab, I think it was? Do you have any idea what their financials?
It's a private company, so their financials aren't public, but they kind of serve obviously a large target market, but nothing is public on their gross profit or anything like that.
One of the components of your financials is that the land at least for $20 a month. How does that really work? That sounds like that's not really possible.
Yeah.
So, being in the real estate business.
One aspect is traditionally the government has been selling land in the slums to developers, but we put a lease mechanism in there to ensure that in case something they didn't want to sell that land to us. But traditionally, the government has been giving that physical piece of land to an NGO or someone doing development for a very affordable price, if not basically giving it away more or less.
So you've seen that already happen?
Yes.
You know that's happening?
Mhm.
Okay.
That confuses people sometimes because people that know about India know that India has some of the highest land prices in the world.
Yeah.
But once we see we're inside the slum area, it's not as desirable in there, and that we're also trying to improve the areas around it. We've seen that the government has been willing to subsidize that for different companies.
Can you guys talk about what the culture is like among the four of you? What are the team dynamics like?
Good question.
Any opinions here?
I'm on the creative side. I'm really passionate about people, so I bring that to the team, and I'm more on the creative, detail-oriented. How do we make this super special, super, Garrett's really good at like plowing through and getting things done and being task-oriented. Steve is great at communicating and figuring out, okay, we need to set these goals to make ourselves successful. And Tom is really great, supportive. He's a great support. He's great at figuring out the things that we're not able to answer, and he's just a great support. So we work well as a team.
Judges, we have about 1 minute to go. Any last quick questions or comments? Any political issues that you'll have to deal with?
Yeah. So India is growing extremely quickly, and with that, politics, they're having a hard time keeping up. So we've seen there's some corruption in the politics in India. One way that we've overcome that challenge is that India politicians have committed to the Millennium Development Goals, which are set by the UN, and they're held accountable by the UN. And one of those goals is to provide sanitation, and India hasn't been able to keep up with that. So if we're providing that sanitation, we're helping the government, and we're partnering with an NGO that already is known and has credibility. We feel that the government's not going to step in and publicly shut us down or do anything corrupt, because if that got out to the UN or to the rest of the country, it wouldn't look good for them.
Thank you very much.